Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of CodeRushed. I'm here with Rory Becker from the UK. Rory.
Hey folks. Hey Mark, how you doing?
I'm pretty good today. I don't know. I'm like, what about 3 minutes before we were supposed to start? I was like, Rory, I'm going to reboot my machine. See if I can get this thing to work the way I want it to work. And I ended up getting it, but it took like about 7 more minutes more of fiddling and changing with things than I was expecting. There's a discipline here. I've got a Zoom H6, and it doesn't like it when I restart the machine, I think, and without shutting it off as well. Let me know how sound is, by the way, out in the chat room. Make sure sound quality is okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear both myself and Mark, and clearly, hopefully?
And we hope that's all good and okay. And we're going to give away a copy of CodeRushed today. And also, I thought I would start kind of a new thing, which I had totally ready till I restarted my machine. So you'll have to bear with me for a second while I bring it up. And it's called Mark's Fun Thing.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you know, this is Mark's Fun Thing right here. And I'll put it up on the screen. This is an architect in Seoul. Pretty cool stuff right here. The building is just kind of lifted right up, and there's the entrance right there.
Wow.
Pretty neat stuff right there. There's a shot of it from the side.
Is that an artist impression, or is that a real shot?
This is real stuff. This is
wow.
This is real stuff. That's my both buildings are painted to white to emphasize the mirrored facade elements. So yeah, this is actual stuff based on what I've seen to get me here. So yeah, this is Mark's Fun Thing. This kind of looks like a whale right here, by the way. So that's what I'm going to do. At the start of every episode, I'm going to try and find something fun. If you've got something fun, you can tweet it out to right here, that guy right there, Miller Mark, at Miller Mark on Twitter. If you want something, you run across something that you think is pretty cool. There it is. There's the two buildings side by side right there. Isn't that cool?
Nice.
I love it.
Yeah,
yeah, it's inspiring. So that's Mark's Fun Thing for today. With that, let's go show the code out on GitHub.
So Mark, quick from the chat room. I don't know sure that anybody saw that. If you maybe on the wrong camera or scene.
Oh.
Because we just see your head at the moment.
Perfect.
I saw it all. I was looking at something entirely different. But
no, you're totally right.
Our viewers perhaps did not.
Perfect. And let's fix that right there by doing this.
Sorry, chat room. We got a bit carried away with the awesome and forgot to show you.
That's all right. That's why Rory's here, to catch these kinds of things. Here's the awesome right there. There's the building pulled up right there. My apologies, kids. Mr. Announcer Bot is running, I think. You should be able to type in bang Mark. Can you try that, Rory? And see what.
Okay, I will do indeed.
Mr. Is that going to work when let's switch back? Try it here. Try it right here.
Something said something.
Yeah, but try it again. Oh, you know what? He doesn't like the. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can do it. I say we let Mark talk. Yeah, it doesn't allow him to, within 20 seconds or 30 seconds of each other. And I switched to it to interrupt you, but I'm pretty sure you can invoke him from this page. Let me just try one more time. You trying again? Is that what I'm hearing you type over there?
Andy?
He's back in a bit. Come on, buddy. Give it to us. Is it a minute? Is that what our penalty is? It's probably a minute. He's really... Come on, Mr. Announcer Bot. Give it to me. I'm sorry.
Does he penalize us each time we do it? Or is it just an absolute?
No, it's an absolute from the last time if we coded it right. Come on, buddy. Is it a minute? You make me wait a minute? Come on. I want an override now. Come on. All right. Now it could be just that he's not doing it because of this page right here. I don't know. Could be. So maybe. I bet if we do it here, it's just going to happen.
Mark.
Yeah. I have a feeling it's the page. Is what I have a feeling it is. So we may have to make some changes there to the Mr. Announcer Bot. But in general, if I miss something important, you can type in bang Mark like that. And that'll do something like this and get my attention. So the page I wanted to show you, this is Mark's Fun Thing. This is this architecture in Seoul. And Roy was asking, wait, is that real or is it photoshopped? And welcome to the world we live in where reality can be questioned at any moment, right? There's no more science. It's simply that whoever has the most minds agreeing wins.
I do love this the graphical effect this produces. I mean, somebody's literally lifted up the corner of the building. I got to wonder what it's like inside that particular segment.
Yeah, well, I get the feeling it's pretty cool. In fact, it looks like you're actually looking inside right here. Look at this, Roy. Can you see that right there?
Yeah.
That looks like we're looking into the building. Whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to zoom in that far. Let's scroll back up again. Right there. That's what I'm trying to do. Come on. There. See the sides? Yeah, people are walking in. You can kind of see that right there.
Wow.
And the reflections there. So this is through the building. You can walk. And what's cool about it, I just noticed, is the opposite end is a kind of a mirror reflection. It goes up on the left on the other side.
So it must warp on the way through from one side to the other.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. I like that. So
I think that pretty much qualifies as Mark's cool thing.
Yeah, that's Mark's cool
pretty
thing.
good.
So that's what I was saying before. Go get the Miller Mark out there. Sorry about that, guys. I've got my eyes over on the Twitch chat channel now and also on my live stream, so we'll be watching that and keeping a closer eye on that. And Rory will help me out as well. So where are we? Where did we leave off? Well, let's do this. Let's go into my overlay manager, and let's go into our Rocket R&D, this little test piece that we've got here. And we'll open that up with Google Chrome and bring it over to the left. The last time we were here, we had, hold on a second, what is this? Oh, that's Skype. Let's get rid of that. So the last time we were here, we had the ability to grow grass, and I decided to take it out. So I've commented out the ability to grow grass.
Okay. No more grass.
No more grass. We do have the ability to fly this guy around and collect coins, and we have now that our coin collection counter is increasing.
So is it just the grass that's vanished, or can we now still do the flowers that we had before?
Yeah, we can still do the flowers. So let's do that. So I think S drops a seed right here, and so these drop seeds, and the flowers grow like that.
And just to inform anybody who's maybe missed a few episodes, this is we're building a facility for you guys in the chat room to play with this. Okay, so you'll be able to issue commands to move to the left, move to the right, drop seeds, change the planet that we're sort of based around, and therefore the gravity around it as well. Just some sort of interactive fun for you to have.
Right. By the way, Roy, can you type in launch, bang launch into the chat window, and see if we, there we go. So check it out. So this, hold on, this is my test app. But what you're seeing happening live up here over the stream, that's the actual overlay. And so now you can see Rory, he's dropping bombs, I think, that sort of thing. Hey, you know what? I just realized I'm going to refresh over here my Twitch page because I'm not seeing anything in the chat room. And I bet this solves it because I'm not even seeing your commands, Rory. Can you type in a command for a second, Rory?
Yeah.
Do like you can do, I think, seed space and then a color, I think, is what you do. Really? I'm not seeing anything in here. Hold on. Let me send a message.
Definitely showing up in front of me.
Yeah, kind of interesting. Hold on. Seed purple. Let's see what happens. It drops purple seed, and I don't see
I saw that command.
That is crazy to me. So take a look at this.
So your comments have become disconnected somehow.
Yeah, this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing nothing over here, right? I can type in like fixed, like that, and it comes through, but I'm not seeing any chat stuff, and I've already refreshed it. That's a little weird. Okay, so Rory, I'm like at this point blind and totally dependent on you.
Okay.
Let me try one more thing. That's like crazy. I did refresh it. Let me do a so I'm gonna do a hard refresh on this and try one more time. Yeah, I'm not seeing any chat show up for me at all inside of Twitch. That's really bizarre. Okay, so let's see. What do I got? I wanted to show you what we had so far. So we have the ability so far to, and so there's one of these, by the way, is in the chat room. Well, let's dock the one from the chat room. Let's do that. So I'm going to send a dock command out, and it's going to go dock up. Why did mine dock as well? Oh, because it's getting those chat commands. I gotcha. Okay, wait, hold on. This is the other one that's running. Hold on, I'm going to go ahead and minimize that. There's another one that I'm testing with, which is here, right there. Okay, so that's the one that I'm testing with. So we have the ability to drop seeds. right? So we can do that. We have the ability to drop these little exploding meteors as well. So we can kind of do that kind of a thing. We're building the elements of gameplay up. Seems like there was something else I was going to show you or talk to you about with that. I guess it was the coins is what I was going to show you with that. The coins, I just wanted to show that the counter increments all of that, and so it looks good. So
Sure.
I think I added that code afterwards. I've checked all of that code in. All of that code in is out here on GitHub at millermark/Mr. AnnouncerBot. Look at EP31 begin. It is missing, I should give you a disclaimer. It's missing some of the artwork because I've got this artwork. I've licensed some of this artwork, and I can license it where I can create something and distribute the thing I create, but I can't distribute the artwork. Because
you can't get the source, so to speak, for people to use in their own projects because
right.
they'd need to license it themselves for that.
Mm-hmm. So check it out. I'm noticing I'm right behind some flowers in here because we dropped some seeds. So that's like kind of one of the things that I want people to be able to do is to be able to drop things and plant things, that sort of thing. I'm going to refresh the page here. So we're going to go back. We'll get those flowers out of my face just by switching to one camera angle, switching to another. That reloads. And today what I want to do is I want to work in standalone. So I don't want to try updating this piece here because we ran into some problems updating the actual overlay last time. And I don't want to encounter those because they just slowed us down. Instead, what I want to do is I want to work inside of this rocketrnd.html, make our changes, look at them here, and then for next time we'll incorporate those changes or when we're ready.
That's good, yeah. That's a lot more stable as well because if we happen to make any mistakes, we don't break the stream's version of things just immediately and maybe get a chance to fix them before it goes live.
Right. So that means for the entire stream, we're going to have Mr. AnnouncerBot running. We're not going to shut down Mr. AnnouncerBot. Everything should continue to run. So if you need to, the only thing that's not working here, wait, let me try one more thing. I'm going to go, I still don't have any chat messages up, which is like totally blowing my mind. Like, why is that the case? I've refreshed and
yeah.
I'm going to open up Edge instead of Chrome, just getting to a new browser.
Okay, yeah.
And see if that works. I'll probably have to sign in, but let's do that. I'm opening it up on another page. Yikes, I got to type in everything. And let's see, my password.
PASSWORD.
This, oh, hold on. Username. Hold on. Try one more time. I'm not a robot. Oh, select all images.
It's a suggestion from Will Bennett. Maybe try theater mode for the actual for the existing window you had. Might kick things into gear.
I'm not sure if I can do that. Well, I'm on the live piece right here. So maybe instead of going there, I should go here, I think is what he's suggesting, and go theater mode here.
Possibly.
Right, so I've got that muted. Theater mode. Where's my chat?
Upper right hand next to the live or next to the gift or sub, depending on which screen you're looking at. There's a little triangular thing. Lets you pull out the...
okay, so I'm full screen here, so maybe, hold on, exit. Did I exit that? Wait, what happened? I definitely
You're
didn't
making
want
a
to do
clip.
So theater mode, hold on. Here's what you're suggesting there?
No, just below that triangle. There's your chat room. So if I send Mark a message.
I can see
There
it.
you go.
All right, fine.
You have a message.
We'll do it now. We'll do that now. All right. Not my favorite. I like to having them on the other sides, but we'll do it. We'll work on that for now. So yeah, I got to turn my head farther away. Can I do it over here? All right, I can do it over there.
Can also pop out the chat room into a separate tab if you want to arrange it that way. That's how I tend to run over here.
Oh, I didn't know that. Hold on.
Yeah, in the lower left there's a little cog of the chat. And
That?
Trying to follow you now. There's a little cog. Yeah, so if you go about halfway up that menu, you see pop out. A little higher. And that should put the chat in a separate tab, which you can then manipulate totally separate from the stream.
And I can see my stuff now. Excellent. And so I've got my stream over here. We're a little happier now. Sorry about that, guys, but I'm feeling better. Okay, so what I want to do this time is I want to work with bumblebees today.
Okay.
And I want to
Logical extension. We have flowers,
Yeah.
bumblebees for pollination, maybe.
Yeah, and I actually got a super cool design on this that I'm excited about because you know, one of the things that I kind of want to, I guess I should take a step back and say, what's the purpose of the overlays? And I think ultimately I want to make the overlays be something that contributes to the excitement, to the coolness of watching the live coding show. So that's one of the things that I wanted to be able to do here. Hold on a second. Let's do my B mock-up. Let's bring this up. So this is a mock-up right here that I was thinking about, right? And you'll notice right here I've got SX Positive. That's my wife's handle over on Twitch. And what I want to do is I want to be able to allow you to go. You can control the rocket if you want, but I also want you to be able to control yourself individually as a bee, with your name showing up right there next to you.
Be an avatar.
Yeah, and as you can see, I've got subtly different colors, so you can choose what color you want to be and fly around. So this is the mock-up of kind of what I'm thinking about. And then once you're a bee, then you can do really cool things, like you can direct my attention to a part of the code if you want. You can throw out graffiti, like a splash of color. You can choose a splash of color to put at your position, and maybe other things like collect coins or pick things up and move them, that sort of thing. So it's another gameplay kind of component, and it kind of fit. We were talking about the flowers over the weekend. Had my family out. You know, we were doing some game design. Worldwide just said, Jesus, blank Christ, why are there bees on the screen? Yeah, so
fair question for someone who may have just popped in.
Just popped
normal,
in.
But
What we're gonna do is our goal is to animate these. We're gonna at least start work on that today. But we were talking. I had the family out, and I said, look, here's my rules for the games. And I had a couple of the rules. One of the rules is all games have to be only positive in nature. There can be no destructive elements in the game unless the destructive elements are targeted against something that doesn't look like a real animal or a real person or anything along those lines. But that also means I can't do player versus player stuff. I can't allow for, acts of sabotage have to be discouraged.
Sure, but we can have collaborative tasks where we all work together towards some positive goal.
Right, but nobody can get in the way. If you don't want to work towards that, fine. So we're talking about that, and we're talking about the flowers and how cool it is to watch. Because when we're talking about the flowers, right, when they drop down, let me launch it again here, right? There's kind of a cool thing that's happening here when I drop a seed and then watch it grow. And when this happens over the code, like you saw earlier, right? We are giving the viewer power over the environment, right?
Yeah.
You can change the stream and have a permanent recorded impact. And we think that's cool and exciting. It's like having a permanent recorded playground where you can make beautiful things happen, like put colors of paint out on the surface of the code or the screen and grow flowers, that sort of thing. So,
Nice.
And speaking of which, that's one of the gameplay elements, which is to decorate or to play, right? That's one of the things we want to allow you to do, to be able to fly this around. Collecting coins is another gameplay element. Live interaction with me is another gameplay element that we're talking about putting in. We've talked about this before, where you drop something from the rocket and it manifests itself physically in my hands, whatever that is, right? So we kind of talked about fun things and ideas like that. So I've got a whole bunch of these ideas kind of laid out. We have a plan in terms of direction where we're going to go. But one of the pieces was the bees, and the idea, this was super appealing to me. The idea that I could give you as a viewer the option, if you want to put yourself out there on screen as a bee with your name on it, and control yourself and move yourself around independently of all the other bees. That felt super appealing to me. So
it is good, yeah.
That's the justification. That's why we're on it. That's what we're doing. So let's do it. I'm going to close this down. I don't know what I'm going to do here. I guess I'll dock it so it's quiet, or I'll just shut off the engines there rather. And I'll put this over here. Warblake says, the bees don't feel like a good idea. I ain't going to watch a stream with bees flying around. Yeah, no, I think that's an excellent point. And I will say that we're going to make this, well, two things. One is in development, we will definitely allow you to become a bee. Brave Cobra 2 says, why would I want to be a bug? Nobody's telling you you have to be a bug. If you don't want to be a bug, you don't have to be. But the question is, why would I watch it right during that? And I think that's an excellent point. And one of the things that we want to do is when we're going to have, is when Rory and I are maybe talking about things, or we're taking a break, or for whatever reason, right? At specific moments in time, I see we'll allow this to happen. In other words, it's not going to be the entire time, but we're very highly likely to restrict it.
Sure.
But that said, right now we've only got like 10 viewers right now. So the chances of having, a whole bunch of people out here at once live in the stream doing this, I think are minimal. Also, I'm pretty big on clarity of information, and I'm aware that if we have a lot of things going on, that can reduce clarity. So if we're talking about something important, I may just shut it down or refresh it, something along those lines. Brave Cover Tube says drones maybe. I see. Interesting. Well, I tell you, once we get the bees things going, the mechanics for the drones, I think are going to be pretty similar. So
yeah. There's no reason why we couldn't use some other type of avatar later on. The basic mechanic is similar, shall we say? That floating around, moving from place to place, indicating things. So who knows? Who knows where things will go in the future? Yeah,
I know. Although I'm like just sitting here saying, the words "know your audience" is in my head, and I've got an audience of 2 that's very vocal, telling me they don't want to see bees animated. To which I'm like totally a little bit dismayed, because I'm like, these bees I think look really effing cool. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go forward on the bees for at least today, and we'll try to get them animated. I'm taking this feedback into account, and we'll consider drones as well. And what were you? I guess we'll just do what Rory was saying, because Rory was saying we can switch over at any time. If there's overwhelming dissatisfaction with the bees, we can do that. To show you the assets on this, I'll show you the bees and what I've got in mind here. We'll start with a traditional yellow bee. Let's go out here, and I'll show you the artwork real quickly. Here's what I've got. Let's see if I can do view extra large. Does that work? Oh, they're all the same. These are the same size. So this is what they look like right here. So I've got for each, I've got different angles as the bee turns, so you can see the bee turning around like this. And for each position, I have an up and down wing position, which I'm just going to flutter back and forth real quickly. So in general, not too bad. The drone is a little easier, because the drone simply just moves left and right, doesn't change at all. But with this, I wanted the bee to actually kind of, if you were heading left and you wanted it to go right, the bee would turn around. The other piece that I have with regards to directing the bee is that the commands, I imagine, are going to look something like this. Move 1, -3, like this. And what that's going to do is it's going to move relative to your bee in bee units. So this is X and Y.
So imagine a big grid, which every cell of which is about the size of your bee.
Right. And so if you want to move over to the right 1 bee unit and up 3 bee units, this is what you would type in. But you could also type in 1.3 or 1.5, 1.5 bee units to the right. Or, for example, and down 5.5 units down, bee units. So it's just going to figure out the size of your bee, where you are, move you. But then the other thing that was kind of cool and exciting to me about the bees is that I was going to move them in an arc. That's what I was going to do. So you were going to.
So we've got a destination and a source, but we're not going to take a direct line. We're just going to take a nice kind of curved trajectory.
Exactly. And then when the bee was holding still, I was going to figure eight it just subtly, like that. And so from the standpoint of when I'm looking at the bee versus the drone, the bee is more exciting because it is more challenging to implement in a lifelike manner. And that's kind of what I want to do, is I want to give you control over lifelike creatures in here. And so let's do that. I'm going to go ahead and keep going with the bees, even though I've got 2 thumbs downs for the bees in there. I hear you. But I'm going to respond to your thumbs down by giving you guys drones as well. So you'll be able to pick drones or bees at the very least. So we've got those 2 options there. So that's kind of what I want to do. The curving, I don't think we're going to get to today, but tomorrow I think we'll get to the curving for sure. And with that, I've got like my Bumble BTS, and I've got no code in it, and so we're just going to kind of start from here.
Okay.
I will look at some other classes, though, that we've already done. One of the classes that we want to look at actually is called part. Well, actually, there's a couple. There's Sprite Proxy. And Sprite Proxy is what we use when we want, and we built all of this from scratch. If you're just joining us or is this your first time with us, Sprite Proxy we built from scratch. It is a class that it works with another class of images to draw a whole bunch of those images on screen at once. So for example, around the chat room, you see those coins spinning around. Those coins are coming from are coming from a sprites object and a whole bunch of sprite proxy objects. These things don't have any images in them. The images are all loaded up in the sprites class, and the sprites class owns a bunch of sprite proxies that keep track of specifics like what frame index it's on, what position on the screen it's on, whether it's moving, like does it have a velocity, that sort of thing. So we're going to need to use the sprite proxy piece right here. By the way, Brave Cobra asks, how would you know the correct values? You need to know the size of the grid as well and do the calculation in your head before entering the values percentage of the screen. Easier to estimate. No, Brave Cobra. You know the value because you're looking at the B. The B tells you the size of the units, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you can imagine looking at the coins on screen right now, you can see one coin and you can see several others next to it. So it's kind of just a calculation of, okay, so many. You could almost even put your thumb up to the screen and actually make a rough estimate that way.
Yeah, I suppose you could do that as well. So if I want to make a move like from here to whatever up here, I could kind of estimate that, I think. But if you have another suggestion, easier to estimate in terms of percentage of screen. So I think the suggestion there is, okay, you know what I'm going to do? Okay, WorldWake says I might watch birds. Birds are cool. Oh, birds are way harder to animate. There's so many different moves there. I've got like 2 frames of animation here. But we'll talk about this. We've got some time, folks. There's no
Hummingbirds are easy, right? They just hover similar.
There, you're right. We could do hummingbirds. For sure. All right, you're right. Big Will Bennett says, and Will Bennett also says, this is why a voting feature would be nice. Spec is going wild. Ah!
Feature creep. How will you cope?
All right. So my thoughts on the bees is that this would work this way. But you know what we can do is I can add a new command called merge percentage merge, and then we can go with I'm not percentage merge. I'm sorry, percentage move. Or move percent, and then you can just pass in, I want to go 10% from the left and 10% down, and that would be give me here or something like that. You could do that too if you wanted to, and it would move that location. But I felt like often it would be like, well, I just want to move up over there. So it's about 5 Bs over and about 3 Bs up. And so I would just say move 5, 3. For smaller distance, I think it's easier to move and make those changes. Okay. So Will Bennett reminds us voting system, his idea from years ago, which we haven't done. I'd say years ago, it was really maybe a month ago, but we haven't done that. Okay, so Sprite Proxy is one of the classes we're going to use to maintain all of these bees. The Sprite Proxy has the ability to have these things move, which is perfect if the bee ever were to fly under the jet engine. It would maybe turn black and just drop to the ground. So it would fall using gravity and fall down. The sprites class, let's go look at sprites. When I create a new one of these, it takes in a parameter of type animation style and then uses that animation style and passes it on into the base animation when we create it, but also stores it privately in the class. That's what this private keyword is here for TypeScript, and stores it privately and uses it elsewhere down in the code. For example, in the advanced frames portion of the code. And what we want to do is we want to go down into part, this class, and we want to essentially add a new animation style, is my contention, is what I want to do. I want to be able to load up all of these yellow bees that we saw a moment ago, right? Load them all up. Here, let's open them one more time and we'll view them here. So here they are right here. I want to load up all of these yellow bees, and I want these yellow bees to basically have be segmented animation pieces. So I want to create a new animation style that's a segmented, I think I'm going to call it segmented and then loop is what I think I'm going to call it, segmented loop. And so segmented loop allows me to define what the segment size is. Okay, in this case, we'll keep it simple and just do it that way. And then that segment size will tell me how many frames are in the loop. And then I'll say jump to index 2, and it'll say, good, here's my image, I'll show it. Then it'll go to the next one, it'll advance it since it's a loop, it's going forward. It shows me the next frame, and then it'll say, okay, let's advance it. Oh wait, I'm a segmented loop. Let's go back over to the beginning again. And it'll just do these two back and forth. So the turning around is going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to say you're on this frame here, then you're on this frame, then on this frame, and I'll just advance those around to do a turnaround like that. That's kind of the idea behind what we're building.
Yeah.
I think this is going to easily take the rest of the session to get this. So that's what I think it's going to take. All right. So I'm going to say, so I'm going to call it, add a new piece, call it segmented loop right here. That's my new style of animation. And let's go, let's just look everywhere sequential stop is used inside of the code and take a look at that. And it's basically here, and here's the other piece right here. So it's in this advanced frames. So this is where we really need to do the work in advanced frames right here. So I think that the somewhere in here there's a frame index piece right here, I guess. And we're going to have to store the beginning or the end of the loop that we are in, is what I think we're going to have to do. I think we could use a modulus check as well to see where we are. Let's do that, I think, because that's a little more client friendly here. So I want to say if this.animation style is equal to segmented loop, then what I want to do is I want to calculate my beginning and end frames is what I want to do. And I'm going to base that on the frame index. Let's see, where are we here? Hold on. Sprite.frame index. Oh, the sprite has got the individual frame index on it. Yeah, I'm going to have to do it anyway, I think, down here. I think. Yeah. So that, wait. This is for cleaning up. Ended animations. That's what's happening here. So like the explosions.
Okay.
So what this does is just takes them away so they're not holding up memory anymore. That's what that's happening. That's what that's doing right there. And what I really should do, now that I've sweetly commented that code, is what I should really do is extract it out and create a new function here. Clean up, ended, terminated, finished animations, probably better. Finished animations, like that. And frame count and frame return frame index are both passed into this. And let's define those both as numbers. And then let's call it like that. Okay, just refactoring a bit here because that's easier to read than a comment plus a bunch of code that could get lost and out of place. This. I gotta love that TypeScript piece in there, right? Okay, so let's close down this right here. All right, so the segmented loop, let's look at this code and see what we're doing here. Last time, frame count is equal to the base frame count, and clean up finished animations. Looks like it's passed.
So when you stop, you're setting it to the very last frame in the sequence, sort of jumping to it, if you weren't already in that point of the sequence.
Yeah, hold on one second. I just want to make sure there's nothing else I put down here. And the answer is no. It looks like it's okay. Sorry, right here. This is what I want to look like. Oh yeah, there is something in here. It's advanced frame. This is the cleanup right here. That's the cleanup code. That's the piece I want to pull out. I missed this when I was looking at that. So I've got advanced frame there. How do I want to handle this? I think I want to, I think I want to undo what I did. So let's go back. Okay. And let's look at this. This piece right here we can take out. And that can be my, my cleanup right there. So let's try that. This dot cleanup. Finish animations. That feels a little bit better to me. Like that. And I think we need to send a sprite into it. And an eye is what I think we need to do. Eye and sprite. Okay, and that's a TN, and the sprite is a sprite proxy, as I recall. Okay, so all right, so we are calling advanced frame on the individual piece, on the individual sprite. So that's the sprite proxy. We're calling that too, and so I actually think that this piece doesn't need to be here in this big chunk. It just needs to be out in advanced frame. So let's go look at, let's go inside of advanced frame. You can't find that. Is it because we don't know what sprite is? Let's go ahead and say sprite is a sprite proxy. Sakelo says, Sakelo says, or is it Sakayo? Sakelo or Sakayo says, be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. All right, let's see if that gives me the ability to now drill into that and that. Okay, so sprite proxy. Wait, I wanted to go into advanced frame right there is what I wanted to do. That's it. Okay. So we do, and if it's greater than frame count, and so that's under that circumstance, but let's do, and we want to say if, what is my animation style? Isn't it stored here? Sprite proxy does not have it. That's, so it's only in part. Okay. So, I think I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to pass another parameter in here is what I'm going to have to do. All right. So let's come back out here outside of advanced frame. And we need to calculate some stuff here. So this is the code I was trying to write before. We need to find out where we are. So what we need to do is we need to get the sprite's frame index. I think is what it is. Yeah, sprite.frameIndex. Okay. And we need to take that and I think it's going to look like this. Var beginning index. How about this instead? Segment start is equal to the frame index minus the frame index mod the segment size, which we need to we're going to need to have to store. Is what we're going to have to do. So we're going to have to declare this part. And then the question is, if we say the animation style is segmented, maybe we don't do that. I'm sorry, Rory. Hold on a second. This is what happens sometimes. I'm taking that out because I kind of want to be able to support sequential stop and sequential as well. So I was imagining I was going to do a segmented loop, segmented sequential stop. I was going to add all of those. But what I think I want to do instead is I want to add a parameter to this, is what I want to do. One more parameter to the constructor of the sprites. So let's go look at, let's do...
Isn't the segmented loop essentially the same as a sequence? It's just that you've got a different terminator. So rather than going the whole way to the end of the sequence, you're going to a different location and then looping back potentially to a different start point.
Right, but that's a segmented loop. And then I've also got pieces that do I've got animations to go forward to the end and stop, like the explosions. And and I also have animations that go forward and then return back to a specific place and then go forward again. So what I want to do is I want to have another parameter it's segmentation, and actually I can set this afterwards. Now that I think about it, I can make it a property afterwards. Is what I can do. Let's do this. The segment size. Let's declare this the segment size, and let's go look at that. I want it to be of type number, like that, and there's my segment size. And then I want to, when I create this, let's go add the creation code, so we at least start getting something visual going here. We're going to call this var bees yellow equals new. Let's just grab this. Whoops. Sprites, and we're going to go into bees yellow bee is what I think it's called. Right? Is that right? Or did I call him B yellow? No, B yellow. It's right there. Okay. And let's see, what are our parameters here? Expected frame count. So this is going to be, I think we're at 18. So 18 frames. This is how much time on screen. I'm going to say like 15 milliseconds for each frame. The animation style is going to be loop. It's going to loop. This is the, what is this? Pad the file index. That is going to be false. We don't need that. And we don't need the other one. We're going to clear those out. And then I'm going to say bees yellow dot segment size equals 2.
Okay.
And I think that's all I'm going to need to say for that. And then I need to add code for it to draw as well. By the way, yes, I'm aware that I need to fix this code so I don't have this. Hold on, let's go in here and look at the green seeds right there. I'm going to take green seeds and I'm going to change it with yellow bees because my green seeds were what were. Actually, I won't do that. I'm going to do this. But we will come in and we'll bounce off the edges. So our bees are going to do this. What I'm aware of, what I was going to say I'm aware of is I've got a lot of code like this. Pink seeds, blue seeds, yellow seeds, purple seeds. Red meters, purple meters, blue meters. Right? What I want to do is put those all into another array. These themselves are arrays, and I want to put those in another array. So I have all my items that are my bouncing items, and I just bounce all of those. And I have all my drawing items, and I draw all of those. I will do that. I promise you I will, but I haven't done it yet. Bees yellow, we want to draw like that. And what else do we want to do here? Here's my green seeds. All right, so let's comment out the last bit of green seeds here. So we won't have that anymore because we don't need the green seeds. They're not used, I think, anywhere else. I should double check that though. Look through the entire application, and I've got 2 references outside of here.
Change direction, yeah.
So we're going to come in here. We're going to say comment you out and come in here and comment you out. The bees, I think we're going to have to do this. We're going to have to call the changing direction on the bees too. As well. So I've got my yellow bees loaded. I've set their segment size. Now we got to have some code that actually works with the segment size here. So there's my segment size there. And then I want to go into, I think I was in advanced frame. There, advanced frames.
So is it your intention that for the purposes of this, most of your segments are all the same length as each other? So they're all 2 in this particular case. And then you're going to set the initial index for the current segment that you're going to run. So you're going to use the first 2 frames of animation for moving left, perhaps, or then maybe the items 7 and 8 for moving right, whatever that turns out to be correct. Yeah. And you're just going to have to set the 1 or the 7, and it will naturally figure out the next one along and how many there are. Yeah,
I'm trying to write code that allows me to specify any animation frame inside a segment, and it's going to figure out what segments it's in and what the boundaries are, and then call it advanced frame, passing in those correct parameters. So if we go back in here and do advanced frame here, let's see here. What's going on with this else? What was I doing here? Oh, I see. I was doing this right here. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to have an additional parameter here, a variable of type number coming in, And this is going to be our, so I think I'm going to pass in the start bounds. And then another one called equals 0. I think I'm going to default it to 0. And I'm going to create another one called end bounds as well.
Sure.
And so what I'm going to do here, I need to pass in two numbers that are different from 0. So when I want to do something right here is if start bounds is not equal to 0 and end bounds is not equal to 0, then I want to implement, I want to execute some code. Otherwise, I can run down and do my normal code. That's what I want to do.
So, Mark, we've got a couple of comments from the chat room there. Brave Cobra 2 says, it feels like procedural code, whilst TypeScript offers you the OOP part in JavaScript. He also says, shouldn't the animation be encapsulated in the B definition?
No, on the second question. Feels like procedural code, while TypeScript offers you the OO part in JavaScript. Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm not getting that. I guess I need more information, Brave Cobra 2, because I am, my thoughts is I'm in the sprite proxy class. This is where we do the advanced frame. This feels like I think maybe what he's saying, hold on. I think what he's saying is advanced frame should be the B does the advancing of the frame, not the sprite proxy. And I kind of hear that. The B is going to be responsible more for moving itself and positioning itself, and not so much for how it's going to animate itself. And
so
this
the B is effectively the data part of the equation, so it's going to know where it is, but leave all the actual rendering on screen to a more universal class like Sprite Proxy and Sprite themselves.
And I do anticipate this style of animation being used in more than one class, more than just the B class. So you're kind of in this mix and match kind of argument. I'm still feeling that this is the best design for this right now, but I'm open to more information that's going to maybe change my mind on that. But for right now, here's where we are. So I've got start bounds here, and I have, and so I'm checking to see if they're both not 0. And if they're both not 0, then I want to do this. I want to say if frame index is greater than or equal to end bounds, then frame index is equal to start bounds. Like that. That's what I want to do. Okay, so that's my advanced frame right there. And I think I'm in good shape here with this. So now I got to pass in the right pieces here to advanced frame. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do an else where we just do the normal one here, but then down here I'm going to call advanced frame, and I'll pass in. Let's use the same variable names here: start bounds and end bounds. We'll do those two. And it's just occurring to me I should practice using let for both of these, so I limit the scope here. The start bounds is my first stab at it was something like this. It was the frame index minus the frame index mod the segment size. And that should get me to that start bounds piece. I think that's right. The end bounds is equal to the start bounds plus the segment size.
Yep, seems reasonable.
Right, 0, 1, 2. Yep, that looks right to me as well. And then we're going to pass in start bounds and end bounds to advanced frame. Is what we're going to do. I think.
Okay.
And now I feel like I've done all the code I need to do create this new style of animation, but I haven't actually created a B yet. So we want to create a new B, and I think I'm going to do that in response to a shortcut command. We'll make it be the letter B, and that's going to be a 66. And let's find some code out here. Put that in there. If key is equal to, good, Rory, what do you want to say?
Will Bennett's just saying from the chat room, wouldn't the end bounds need a -1? So the segment size was going to be 2 for our 2 frames. So if we add 2 to our start, then are we going to end up with a 1 and a 3? So is the end bound supposed to be inclusive of the last frame or excluding the last frame?
I've got it exclusive. This call right here, if frame index is greater than or equal to the end bounds, then we run it back to the beginning. So I'm pretty sure it's right,
Cool.
is what I think is the case. So I'm like putting it, it's out of bounds, not inclusive. So that's my, the start bounds is inclusive, the end bounds is exclusive. Maybe that's not the right way to do it because of the wording. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm using the word boundary.
It's always hard to tell with bounds because, you know, the bounds of a field might be, I don't know, the fence that's around it, and obviously you can't be in the fence, but that would apply equally to the start and the end.
Let's maybe do this because the boundary isn't, you can't be on the boundary, right? It's the fence, whatever, right? The boundary is often the fence, and so in our literal meaning of it, you can't be on the fence. You can't be in it, I mean. And so, but let's change the start bounds to start index instead. And then that fixes it. We'll simply change the naming over here. So I think it ends up being a good suggestion anyway here. So we say start index. I should use the rename feature. Let's do that here. And do that. And so there's my start index. That feels a little bit better. Start index and inbounds.
Yeah.
Okay. And then same thing here, like that. And then now I feel better. And I think, Will, you probably feel better with that too. I bet you like that. Okay, let's see. I feel like I was in main. Oh, I was here. I want to create some bees is what I want to do. I'm going to create a rocket command called drop bee. So the bees are going to fly out or something like that. Release bee.
Release the bees.
Release bee. And at least I'll say for now, that's what I'll pass into it. So it'll be just the now. We'll declare that. Okay. So we'll say release the bee, dive into it. Let's put it in a place that makes sense, more with our other methods, our other functions in here. And now here, it's called yellow bees, I think. Bees yellow. Okay. And I think it's going to be a push. What is it? No, it's beesyellow.sprites.push, something like that. I should go find my other code where I'm adding other meteors and things like that. To take a look at what's going on in that code. Create this.create sprite. I think we can use this. I think we can use all of this is what we can do. Hold on one second. Sprite proxy, get int sprite array. That's going to create a new sprite proxy element inside of it. Yeah, because we don't even need to know what we're doing. We're just creating a new sprite proxy there at that location. Change velocity is good, and the sprite's push. That's all good. So create sprite, which is here, okay, is cool. So that's, and then drop from 1. I got it. We don't need that yet, but once we have the other bees, then we can add those colors in there. So what I'm going to do is, I think it goes like this. The code to create a new bee at that location is this. And I think that's it.
That'd be good.
And I really hope this all works. Wouldn't that be awesome? We'd be like, okay, that was just, made it look easy. All right. So let's come in here, Google Chrome it.
All code perfect first time, right?
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome? I'd love it. All right, so we're going to launch. Hold on. I heard the launch, but I don't see it. Something's going on here. It's like I'm in a breakpoint. That's weird. Hold on. Let's refresh the page. It's taking a while to load it up. That doesn't feel good to me. All right, it's there now. Launch, and then letter B to release a bee. I say you something.
There's a bee. It's flying.
I think that's
animating
not bad.
Well.
Yeah. You combine that with movement, and as well as the turn and all of that. I think it's not bad. Although it should be starting at frame 0, and that looks like it's at Like
It's a few frames further on,
yeah,
isn't it?
it's way further on. I wonder if it's a random position. Let me launch another bee. It's random. It's putting them out at a random position.
Oh, that's because similar to the coins, how they started at a random point in their
Yeah.
rotation.
Yeah, so we'll have to fix that. And the other thing I want to give it, like I said, I want it to fly out. Oh, the other thing we didn't say is we didn't say these move. Hold on, let's say they move. Let's go back to the code, go to main, and let's make that change. And we'll say bees.yellow.moves equals true. Okay, and then refresh. Yeah, they definitely have to work on the loading time on this. That's really interesting. All right, here we go. B, 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 B. I think it's going to look good.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're working on getting a gameplay element here. So I can go down, move up, move up, move up, get some upward velocity, and then shoot out some bees like that.
Yep.
So cool. And these should, I think the question is, are these dropping off the screen or are they staying in memory? I was expecting them to bounce and they're not bouncing. So anyway, all right. Will Bennett is saying drop. Nicolas Cage is being quoted by Sakello, not the bees. All right, so that's what we've got. Will Bennett said drop it. Will, you can't control this one. You can control the one that's on the screen. I think you have to start with a launch command. So you might want to do that if you want to actually launch. There you go. Oh no, actually it did work maybe. We can drop still from an unlaunched position. Will is clearly demonstrating that. What are your thoughts, Roy? What do you think?
I think that's pretty good. I think that's a nice start. We're going to get something really good out of that.
I think it's not bad. Hold on.
You know what time it is?
Mr. Announcer Guy asks if you know what time it is. Roy, what time is it?
Well, it's got to be CodeRushed time.
Hey, check out what's in the chat room, Rory. It says, hey, Rory.
Behave.
That is a level 999,999 spell, but alas, you are a 999,998 level wizard. No, it actually says 9 in there.
See, it says 9.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe there's a decimal rounding error there somewhere.
I don't know. There's something odd there. We're going to have to check that out. We are leaving some threads loose and hanging, so we got to clean those up. Okay, It is time for a CodeRushed giveaway. Let's give away. Today's winner is...
Wywern14.
All right, Wywern14. Congratulations. I will be DMing you via the chat window on Twitch momentarily, and we can
get you some CodeRushed goodness.
Some CodeRushed goodness. Goodness. And with that, Rory, I think I'm going to, even though I kind of want to keep developing, I'm thinking, I've noticed I'm making some mistakes a little bit. I'm like, even though technically it worked perfectly the first time we tried without any major bugs, I'm kind of feeling like I want to be careful about the way I write the next bit of code that I'm going to write.
Sure.
So I'm like, I think I'm going to end the show today.
Out on a positive note.
We'll end on a positive, I suppose, and tomorrow we'll pick it up. I have a feeling I'll have done some development between now and tomorrow, but we'll see what happens. My intentions are with the bees are to get them to turn around and to move, at least be exploring in that direction. So tomorrow Wednesday we'll probably work on that. Okay?
Okay.
All right. With that, thanks everybody. Thanks, Rory, and we will see you on Wednesday.